Good morning, class. It is Mr. Hagan. It is March 31st, 2020. I hope that you had a great evening, got a lot of sleep, got a lot of rest. So, as it seems for a class announcement, I think we're going to be out of school until at least April 20th, so after spring break. So, if there's anything that's still confusing you about how the online classes are working, now's the time to figure it out, because I don't want you guys to fall behind on your work. And the late work has been accepted a little bit later, but we need to start coming together. Otherwise, this is going to get kind of ugly kind of quick. So today's video is going to be introducing the project that I have, which is Modernizing Myths. I'm going to probably post a lot of links, a lot of information, which may seem overwhelming at first. So I'm just going to break them down because it's really self-explanatory. So when you're modernizing a myth, right? So the assignment, essentially what you'll be doing is that on the PowerPoint that I've provided, and also the Word document, the PowerPoint and the PDF that I've provided, you are given a large list of myths, right? So here, I'm going to read them out to you through the PowerPoint. So this is why I know that I've been seeing that a lot less people have been watching the videos, but that's why this is important, because I'm giving you the information on here, right? That you cannot supplement a class just by reading the work that I post. You need to watch these videos as well. So you're going to pick a myth. Right, in your list of myths are Athena and Poseidon compete for a coastal town. King Sisyphus of Corinth tricks Hades, the god of death. Icarus flies too close to the sun. We read this one. Persephone and Demeter invent the seasons. Also, we've read this one. This one was the one where Hades kidnaps Persephone. The fortune teller who speaks in riddles. Apollo and the Trojan horse, Ares, god of war, and the magical rock, and opening Pandora's box. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you have 8 options to choose from, right? So once you've picked your myth, what you will do is you will modernize it, right? So you're taking a myth, you're taking an old story, and you're giving it like a modern spin. So what I'm asking you is to recognize that, we'll use the one that we're familiar with, right? Icarus flying too close to the sun. A lot of you in your response papers kind of talked about how for a moral, maybe he should have listened to the advice of his elders, right? Because he didn't listen to his dad. He flew up too high and his wings melted. So you can use that moral, you can use that kind of story in order to tell a modern story, right? So modernization is where you're going to take the story of Icarus, right, and you make it, if you look at the PowerPoint, I give you a bunch of ideas, right? So it could be a middle school romance, cheating to pass a math test, trying out for the basketball team, accidentally Snapchatting your parents, standing up to a school bully, a fateful trip to Wendy's. So these, you don't need to pick from this list, but these are all modern ideas. So if you were to modernize the story of Icarus, right? Imagine that, right? So it's a story about not listening to your parents, and you kind of fail because of it. So what if Icarus is, his name is actually Ivan, and he's at the mall, right? And there's a girl that he really has a crush on from his middle school, and his friends are warning him, like, hey, dude, like last few guys that she's dated have went out of that kind of messed up. Like they've been really upset and they're really broken for it. Maybe she's not the best choice for you. And this friend Ivan does it anyway, right? In a sense, he's flying too close to the sun. That's how you're modernizing a story, right? So friend gives a friend another advice, like, hey, here's her phone number, but I wouldn't get too attached because she's not the nicest girl. So that's how you can modernize it. So if you get onto the last slide as well, you have your grading rubric, right? So there are 4 parts to this project, 4 parts that you'll be graded on. And at this time, this is where the the Word document is going to come in. So I want you to make a different, when you have to reformat it in Google Docs. Not a big issue when it comes to this. So what the worksheet's providing you is, you'll notice that you have a few numbers on it. And you also, if you scroll down to the very, very bottom, you have your worksheet. So a lot of your work is going to be done on here, right? So one, you're selecting one of the myths below, which is what I went over just a little bit in the video. So after you do that, you're going to summarize your myth in a paragraph. So you're going to read the whole thing with your partner or on your own if that's what you want to do. You have the option to work with a partner or by yourself. So you're going to read the story. And once you read it, once you digest it and you understand, you will summarize in a full paragraph, right? This is a graded paragraph. You're going to summarize the story. So break it down into its most basic parts. Give me the summary of what it's about. Next, in 1 or 2 sentences, describe how you are going to modernize this myth. So whichever story you end up picking from that list, you need to tell me in a sentence or 2, like clearly stating, otherwise the grade's not going to be great, how you're going to modernize it, how you're going to spin it from this ancient story to something that's more modern, to something that's more today. So next, write your modern myth as a roughly 3-minute play on lined paper. So clearly the lined paper thing's not going to fly. So what I'm going to ask is the same assignment that we did yesterday. Do that, right? So I want you to format it like that. Is when I say do that, is format it just like that. You're probably going to have more than one scene, right? You're not writing a scene for a play. You're writing an entire play. As for the performances, right, what I will eventually have you do is, you're not getting out of that to show me that you have a coherent play, I will be listening to groups one by one on Google Meets or on Google Hangouts. And we will be doing like a video conference, right? The whole class will not be there. It will just be your group and me. And you will perform your thing with your partner. I know it's going to be like a little awkward online, but I'm more than confident in your capabilities. So the score, if you go down to the rubric, is based out of 40 points, right? So myth summary, that's 1 grade. That your myth, the best grade you can get for it is if your myth was summarized in a well-structured paragraph. The summaries include all important details, like all the important stuff of the story. You're not missing any of it. I don't need to know, that this person had, 6 pairs of shoes in his closet if it's not a main part of the story. The second thing you'll be graded on is the modern myth, the creativity and the effort. That your myth was changed to fit very well in the present day, that your modernized myth is very creative and shows a great deal of effort. Do not skimp out on this in the sense that I don't want you to come up with some lazy story. Okay, if it hasn't changed, if it's not creatively done to fit in the year of 2020, then you're not going to get a great grade for it. Next is your script. It needs to be professional looking. So the same format that we did yesterday, right? I need to be sure that if I gave this to any actor, they could read it and perform it, right? So you're always going to have your scene on the top, right? The title for your scene, or just, letting us know your stage direction and the dialogue, and also your character list at the very, very beginning. This, we did this yesterday, and from what I saw from everybody, it was pretty solid. Next is your performance. The last thing you'll be graded on is your performance. That, it will be a little bit different since we're doing this online, but I want you to complete an entertaining and fun performance, right? That this is not just some, schoolwork that you may find to be daunting, but this is something you should be proud of. It's something a little bit more fun, a little bit more laid back, but it also shows me that you're getting this, that you're understanding this. So I'm here to answer any of your questions. I'm sure that my Gmail is going to blow up with comments from you guys, but make sure you watch this video before you ask me any question. I have gone over so much of this essay, and I will even summarize it one more, or this project, and I will summarize it one more time. So you are going to pick a myth from the, let me go back to Google Classroom. Okay, so on the assignment section, I have, like in the actual classwork, I've provided you with the myth choices, like a PDF of the complete stories that you'll be reading from. It has all of them on there, so don't say, oh, I don't see it. Scroll down, it's there. Your Word document, which will end up being what you write on. This is essentially your project. And if you are working with a partner, you can have both of your names on top. I will only require a copy from each kid or from each group. And also I have the PowerPoint, which is the instruction manual for the essay, or for the project. Sorry, I keep saying essay, for the play. This is going to tell you what you're going to need, what you're going to have to do, okay? So, like I said, watch this video before you have any questions for me, all right? I will be available, and more importantly, if you look at the due date for the assignment, it is going to be this coming Monday. So you will have today, tomorrow, the next day, all the way until Monday at 11:59 p.m. to work on it. So as always, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe. I will see you guys soon. Goodbye.